Hi, everybody. It's Lori. And when we get some viewers on here, please be sure you can let me know that you hear me. I hope you're all well. It is a beautiful sunny day here in California. It's still kind of cold. We are going to Boston soon and hoping it's going to be warm there too. So, anyway, I can't believe this is our last class of this little series. It's been such a joy for me to do this class. It was a little scary the first week because I had some revisions I wanted to make, but that's just all part of the process. So, anyway, I've been so appreciative of the risks you guys have taken as writers, and what just a total blessing to hear your stories and your words. I am forever grateful that you've come on this journey with me. There is more to come. I'm going to do these again. I'm thinking March is when I'm going to do them. And by that time, I will have some technology glitches fixed. And anyway, just a wonderful experience. All right. So if you're here, can you let me know who you are so I can envision your beautiful face? Because I would love to be speaking right to you, as well as our folks who are doing the replays. I know some people can't make it this morning, and just catch this when you can. That's the beauty of having a replay. All right. At the end of this class today, I'm also going to announce a really cool thing that I've come up with for the summer that's just going to be absolutely delightful. And I see that Carrie is here. Oh, this is going to be a good one, Carrie. I'm so glad you're here. So let's keep going. All right. So as always, you will need, I'm assuming you can hear me because Carrie would have said she couldn't if she couldn't hear me. So I'm going to take that down. As always, you will need your workbook. You can live without it, but you can find it on my website under the Write With Me section. Or if you're in our private Facebook group, you can find it in the files section. So, and then you need something to write with. So the beginning of our feast this week is a recipe. I always knew of it as Gail's peach pie, but the irony is, I was talking to Gail. She's a college friend of my parents, and I grew up with this pie. It's kind of like a pavlova because the crust is egg whitey. I put pictures of it on my website or on our Facebook group, sorry. And I was talking to Gail recently, and she's like, that's not my recipe. I've never made that before. Literally my whole childhood. Oh, Gail's peach pie, because it's my favorite dessert. Although now when I have it, I made it this week, it is almost too sweet for me. It's interesting how our tastes change. But the reason I put this recipe up is it's in my mom's handwriting, which is such a treasure. My mom is still alive, but I think it's amazing to think about the way I save recipes now. I print them, and I have a binder that I will pass along to my daughter, but it won't have my handwriting in it. And, you can think about looking back at recipes that grandmothers passed down, and you see their personality in that writing. So anyway, I just thought that was really interesting. But this is a recipe book that my mom gave to me when I think I moved out into an apartment or college or something. It was kind of all our favorite family recipes. So it was just a little gift book there. And I see that Mana is here too. Hi, Mana. All right. So let's go. You two who are here have been along with us. Our goals for each class are for you guys just to fall in love with writing, enjoy it, learn about what you're doing well as a writer already, and be in a writing community. And I just want to say I've been so almost surprised by what it's been like to be in a Facebook group where some people have come on and read their pieces live. And there's such an interesting, intimate quality about people reading those pieces live. It's kind of blown my mind because, I'm looking into a computer. We're all in separate spaces, but there is something really interesting about that. It's almost like that one person is reading right to me or right to you. And it's really interesting. It's definitely a different vibe than when I listen to people read pieces in a classroom or a multi-purpose room in a school. Both are amazing, and I found that really interesting during this class. All right. So, overview of this class, we're going to talk about some cherry lines. We're going to learn some things from our writers because I'm not the only teacher in this class. We'll do our warm up, we'll do our inspiration. I'll talk about some big ideas. I'm going to read a mentor text to you. We'll do a writing invitation. We'll write for 10 minutes after the class is over. And I'm going to announce a really cool thing I'm doing this summer. It's so cool. It's seriously going to take over the internet. I cannot tell you. Then we'll go back and share in our group live if you're comfortable. And then I'm going to give some gratitudes for you guys. So that's the plan for today. So cherry on top lines. Though there are a couple things that I thought were so interesting about the pieces that I listened to this week. Janine's piece, when first of all, her perseverance was quite extraordinary because she kept trying to get that video, and I just appreciate that so much. But it was so interesting to just listen to her amazing voice and look at the trees. That was a really interesting choice, and I love that. Look up into the sky. It was great. And then listening to Nina's piece last night, she posted her piece. Both of these pieces are so moving, by the way. If you haven't listened to them, you really should. But Nina's voice is so different from Janine's. The cadence was slow and she took her time with it. I'm kind of a fast talker, if you haven't noticed. And I just loved that. It gave time for words to seep in. And I really appreciated that. So, it's kind of like the idea of when you're writing a piece and a teacher will say, think about the white space on the page, the way the words are held on a page. I think it's equally important if you're reading a piece live, your voice is so unique and the way you'll present it is so unique. And so I learned from that. And both Janine and Nina taught me something about that. The specific writing thing that I really noticed was in Nina's piece. I don't know, when you guys listen to that, if you go back or if you already noticed it, she does a real echoing thing that she did about 3 or 4 times in her piece. And I really loved it. An example of that, I think it was the first one that I really noticed. She said she didn't lose her singing voice, her beautiful singing voice. So she says a sentence and then she echoes it a little bit afterwards. And that creates a real rhythm. And especially in the way Nina was reading it, it was kind of a slow rhythm. So the other thing that I wanted to mention was that some people have had struggles with these writing pieces or struggles or wanting to feel. I know Lisa put a post up there of, I've done all the pieces, but I'm trying to edit and revise them. And I just want to encourage you guys, don't get too hung up on that. These, we're not submitting these pieces to the Atlantic Monthly. For me, it's getting you guys in a composing frame of mind. It's sharing a piece of yourself that if it gets on paper, there's some reason that it needs or wants to come out into the world, or just for you having that process of getting it out. So I would, kind of have an attitude of just go for it and don't worry if it's perfect. That's been my attitude with this class, because this has definitely been a little bit of trial by error for me because of using technology. This is the first time I've done something online. So, I just want to put that out there, that revision and just getting it out in a community that's going to give you a little bit of grace is an awesome thing. Also, our friend Tanya, she shared her piece and with me privately online. And that is a wonderful way to give yourself an authentic audience. And I will always be a gracious audience to your words. So thank you so much for that. I'm gonna actually remember to scroll my comments. All right. So I'm gonna check in. I have a Post-it on my computer that says scroll. Okay, we're going to go to our next slide. And okay. Okay, someone is saying, I'm going to show the comment actually. I'm going to go here. I did not edit or revise. I caught some stuff while reading it and corrected it in the process. Then, in like 2 instances, I read the edited version. Okay, that is such an important thing. I corrected it in the process of reading it out loud. I just want to mention that to you. If you have young children or you're, trying to edit one of your pieces, this is such a huge comment because just the act of reading your piece out loud, you will hear the parts that are working and you will hear the parts that aren't. You don't necessarily need some fabulous teacher in front of you to say, oh, that line's great. That line's not working so well. You will hear it. This is the same for kids. That's why I make kids read their pieces out loud and not even like, here, mom, will you look at my piece? Or you not even trade them, but actually you got to get the words out in the open because you will hear what's working and what actually isn't. So that's a really, really great comment. All right, I'm going to hide that comment now. Oh, see, I'm really getting good at scrolling now. And I see that Nina's here now too. So welcome. I just said, if you just checked in, Nina, I said some really cool things about you just a second ago. All right, so we're on the currently slide. I am currently wishing I could go see the Super Bloom in Death Valley or out in Lancaster or way out there. I saw an article that it's talking about the apocalypse or something, because so many people are going out there, but I just don't have time to get out there right now. But I'm having a little mini Super Bloom in my yard, so that's good too. Eating or drinking. Okay, so that's interesting. I am currently doing writing down the food that I'm going to eat for the whole day before I eat it. So whatever's on my plan, my reasonable plan, I'm eating. And I noticed that when I cook, I grab a lot of little things like, oh, that carrot or whatever, or that cheese. So I'm working on that. That's what I'm currently, nothing too thrilling, but I am needing to learn how to calm myself down without eating or watching TV. I'm not very good at that. I'm kind of a high energy person, and I just got to learn how to calm myself down. Anyway, I'm working on that. If anyone has suggestions, let me know. If you guys can put any of your wishing, eating, drinking, or needing, just maybe one of those in the comments, that would be great. Before I go on, I just wanted to mention that Nina said, I think that was another reason I read so slowly. I also added a few lines impromptu, and that might have been your echo thing that was happening. But that's great. You're kind of showing your process to us. And so I really appreciate that. That's a great comment. All right, I'm going to scroll again. All right, let's move on. And I'm going to go to our inspiration. And our inspiration is on page 32. And I just picked this one. It's written by William Stafford. Here are my favorite poets: Mary Oliver, William Stafford, Billy Collins, and Naomi Shihab Nye. And William Stafford was an Oregonian, just a great, great poet. And kind of like Mary Oliver's poems, his poems are kind of like prayers to me as well. And the reason I picked this one is there's one line in it particular that I just absolutely love. But it just reminds me to stay in the moment and remember and pay attention. So here we go. It's on page 32. You reading this, be ready. Starting here, what do you want to remember? How sunlight creeps along a shining floor? What scent of old wood hovers? What softened sound from outside fills the air? Will you ever bring a better gift for the world than the breathing respect that you carry wherever you go right now? Are you waiting for time to show you some better thoughts? When you turn around, starting here, lift this new glimpse that you found. Carry into evening all that you want from this day. This interval you spend reading or hearing this, keep it for life. What can anyone give you greater than now, starting here, right in this room, when you turn around? I love that poem. All right, I'm going to move on here. So our big idea for this week is on page 33. And I just feel so strongly that being in a composing state of mind feels really, really good. And I just think it's a great way to live life. And we are in all sorts of composing, or the way we express that we're in a composing state of mind, I think can vary over our lifetime and over every day. Writing is one way to show it. And I'm going to show you a little slide here. I don't know how clearly you can see this. I'm going to post it on our Facebook group after this class is over, but without some explanation, I didn't know how well it would, you'd be like, what is this? But I was in a writing class one time and we were talking about, what is composition? What's the act of composition? And the instructor asked us to write all the different compositions we have in our day. And so I just did kind of 4 things. One of them was my calendar, trying to create a rhythm in my day. That's a composition. Cooking for my family, the second box on the top right, that's a composition. When we have a meal around the table, I see the red homework folder that was from her school, my daughter's school, doing laundry, taking care of our home, helping my daughter with homework. That is a composition in my day. The lower left corner, when I teach Family of Writers, I would compose those classes. And then also on my right lower corner, I have creating my native garden, or going on hikes in our local hills here, or even composing trips that our family will take. So I also found it interesting. I did not plan this, but at the bottom of this, take into evening all you want from this day. It's a quote from the poem I just read to us. I was like, oh, that's so cool. Anyway, so, that idea of take into evening all that you want from the composition of your day. So I think that's really kind of interesting. It would be interesting for you guys to do that. The other thing I want to show you is this one, and which I will also put this in our live Facebook group. I did a visual of my composition process. And the quote in our big idea says, I write every day for 2 hours, but it's what I do for the other 22 hours that allows me to write. And that's a quote by Don Murray. And I just think it's really important that when this visual is looking at when we're actually composing a piece of writing, what's our process? And for me, I do a ton of great thinking in the shower, when I'm washing dishes, when I'm reading books, and that book gives me an idea. I do a lot of writing in a journal first and taking notes. That shower, like this morning in the shower, I had like 3 ideas that I had to go put in my journal right away when I was dripping wet. Obviously, I compose on the computer, then I print my document out, I write all over it, and I go back to the computer, and I'm doing that back and forth. And that's really when I'm trying to get a draft ready to much more ready than pieces I've been writing in this class. In this class, I've just been doing like fast drafts. It's a totally different composition process. And I also let my pieces sit. If I have that luxury of time, I can let it sit and then come back to it in a day or two, and I'll see things that I want to revise or move around. So that's a really important part of the process for me too. And then reading out loud, showing it to a reader, that's a huge part. So just start thinking about, your writing process, your composition process isn't just sitting in front of your computer with it or with a pen in hand. There's a lot more to it. And there's a really great book. It's called, and I will make a comment here so you guys can see it. It's called Daily Rituals. And what a fabulous book. I'd show it to you, but I read it on my Kindle. But it's basically about the daily rituals of artists and writers and composers and musicians. And many of them, strikingly, many of them were like alcoholic druggies. I really don't want to go that route, but many of them took long, long walks. And that was a really necessary part of their composition process. So something interesting to think about there. All right, I'm going to scroll a little bit to check our comments. Mana says, she's currently wishing that Lori's writing feasts weren't ending. Oh, so sweet. They will come back again. Currently eating chia seeds with my dinner, sprinkling of them over my food and salads. That's a really good idea because I know they're so good for you. And I have a salad at lunch and I have some in my house. So thanks for the inspiration. I'm needing a resort vacation. So tired. I have a lot going on. Yeah, I think a lot of us could take a little resort vacation right now. That'd be great. All right. Thanks, Mona, for sharing those. All right. We are going to move into our mentor text. And our mentor text is a beautiful book called Nightfall Country Lake. It is out of print. Well, you see the cover. I don't need to hold it up. It's a picture book. My friends from Ventura, whom I taught with, we use this book a lot. And one of our mentor pieces today is written by one of those people, Karen Havoc. It's a beautiful piece, and I don't know if she'll even remember it. But anyway, this is basically a poem, and you can see the text for this on page 34 of your workbook. And the way this piece is written, it's very heavily dependent on the images in the book. I will give you a few, but it's basically nightfall at a country lake. And I want you to see the way, this is one of the first images, and I'm going to read the book to you, and which is reading the piece to you. And so here we go. You can follow along in your workbook page. All right. Stillness. Long shadows. Last song. Going home. Sunset. Quiet visitor. Somewhere. Croak. Evening mist. Neighbor's light. Splash. Listening above. Father's voice. Waiting. Just crickets. I'm going to show you a couple of those pictures. The listening above one, I don't know if I'm getting this to you guys. It's not showing up very well. Listening above is an owl. Father's voice, woo, is a dad right outside his screen door. Can't you just hear it creaking open? Now, our pieces won't be so dependent on the images. The waiting one is a cat waiting for her dinner. And then the Just Crickets one is a young boy asleep. And his windows open, looking out at the stars and the moon. So I just love this book. And the writing invitation for this one, and I'll read you one that one of our writers has done, is on page 35. And what I want you to do, and this goes so perfectly with what Mana needs right now. This is perfect. Good segue, Mana, with your your comment about I'm needing a resort vacation. I want you to just take a deep breath. And I want you to think of a place that makes you feel a peaceful place. And I want you to think of a day, a time of day or night that you would be in that place. So on your writing instructions, you have, for this book, like it was nightfall, dusk, morning, dawn, sunset, whatever. And I'm going to read my piece to you so you can see what I did with this. And my piece is called Summer Evening in Prince William Sound. And Prince William Sound is basically in Alaska, and it's surrounded by calving glaciers. And I was on a kayak trip. We were about 2 weeks in on this trip, and we had not seen anybody. And it was in the summer, so it didn't get dark, basically. So here's my piece. It is on page 36, and you might want to look at these so you see the form of these pieces. You will see Karen Havocs in just a hot minute, so you can see what hers looks like as well. Summer Evening, Prince William Sound. Shining sun, warm skin, glaciers carving, ice crashing, water rippling, smooth rock, lazy reading. Somewhere a bird sings, do, 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 do. Simply content. You might notice that I borrowed the somewhere line. Somewhere, something I heard, that's what that's implying. And then the simply describing how I was feeling. So that's my take on it. I want to read to you Karen Havocs, and I know you can't read this very well, but I wanted you to see what it looks like on the page. And she did a little bit different tweak on this than I did, and I love this piece forever. We had a little writing institute in 1996-97, which she participated in. Karen and I taught 5th grade together. And she did Mama's Porch, Council Hill, Oklahoma. So instead of saying a time, she put her place there. You can totally do this too. As you guys know, you can do whatever take on these you want. One of the things I want you guys to notice, Karen did a very kind of consistent form here. She had 3 lines in each little stanza. She had 3 lines, and then they ended with 1 word, kind of describing what she was feeling or what that place was. And so this is just a beautiful piece, and I'm going to read it to you. I did get permission from Karen to read this to you. Mamos, is it Mamos or Mamos? Karen can tell me later if I'm doing that right. Council Hill, Oklahoma. Screen from the bugs, painted wooden chairs, careful of splinters, relaxation. Hot August evenings, clammy cotton shorts, ice cold pop, heaven. Reading Jane Eyre, letters to friends, miles from reality, home. Bright bare bulb, moths congregating, fireflies dancing, serenity. Communicating thoughts, simply asking questions, someone to talk to, nurturing. Lady of majesty, classy, steadfast, special grandma, memories. Isn't that beautiful? So this one is a tribute to a place and a person. It's just a beautiful, beautiful piece. And thank you, Karen, for letting us read it. So right now, I'm going to move to the slide about doing this as a quick write. If anyone has comments, I'm scrolling here to be sure that I'm checking. If anyone has questions about how to do this, let me know. I think I said this one we would do in 8 minutes and 23 seconds. You guys know that's pretty flexible, right? And you're in your own home, so really, who cares? But I don't want you to be writing for hours here. I just want you to do something fast. Again, this will be a quick write, 8 minutes, 23 seconds. Don't worry about spelling. Be open to whatever comes to you. And if you get stuck, you can do the XOXO or I'm stuck on, or I'm stuck. All right, scrolling to see if any comments or questions. I'm not seeing any. So after you write, if you can get online and do your piece live, or just type it, in a Facebook post in our group, because these will be pretty short, that would be fine too. And then we can give you our cherry lines. It would be great if you tell us the line you like the best. I think it's really interesting to see that. My doggy's right here. I think she really needs to go out. So I'm going to try to go fast and so I can get her outside. Yeah, it's okay, baby. Hi, Maddie. So after you write, do that. And then one of the things, okay, I just got to let her, well, I'm not going to let her out. Maddie, you just got to wait. Just wait. It's okay. Your cherry on top lines. We are to the end of this class, and there in your notebook is I think there's a page. I think there is a page that you can do this. I'm not quite sure. But I want you to look back at all your cherry on top lines. And I want you to kind of notice the patterns in the lines that you have loved. And good girl, Maddie. Good girl. My dog injured her leg, and so I can't just let her go out because she will chase squirrels. She's going to be fine, but that's why I'm a little distracted right now because I got a supervisor. Anyway, so find, and I think you will find some patterns. I thought I put my lines in here, but I'm going to read my lines to you. My 3 so far, obviously I haven't written my 4th one, but my 3 so far are, I am haiku capturing small moments. Number 2, in the time I've taken to write these words, the painted ladies have moved on, pulled north by a calling I can't comprehend. And then my bring my baby home line from last week's piece. And to me, the style isn't necessarily similar in all these lines, although I do have kind of a phrase and then a comma and another phrase describing it. That's in both of them, and 2 of them. But I think some of them are kind of speaking to being in the moment, I think. I'm not quite sure, but I think that's a pattern of the lines that stand out to me. And it's certainly a pattern in the poems that I've picked, that a lot of them are be mindful, be aware of these moments in your life. So that's just my 2 cents on that. The other thing I would like you guys, and I'll put some prompts in our Facebook group for this, is what do you want to remember about this class? I kind of think of that as the icing on the cake. For me, I would definitely say the vulnerability you have shown as writers, the willingness to take a risk and go live and share your pieces. I'm so appreciative of that. I'm certainly appreciative of the beautiful writing that you've done. What I want to remember is there are different ways to do writing classes, that I can be in a room with people and that we can also be online and make it something valuable too. I also think that we just have to jump in and try new things. For me, it was the online part. For some of you, it might have been going live or writing in a safe place. We're free to do that. So I want to remember that. I also feel like, again, and I experience this over and over again, when people share their stories, we always find something to connect to. And we don't know the stories people are carrying around when they're walking, by us. And I just find it so fascinating and kind of filled with grace of, we never know what someone's story is. And until you ask, they can just remain hidden. So I really appreciate that. I loved all the different ways that people were sharing their pieces. Some people emailed me, some people messengered them to me, some people went live. That's fine. I like people having choice in that. And I was really surprised by the intimacy of the lives. I didn't know how well that was going to work, and I really, really appreciated that. So just be thinking about what you want to remember from this class. All right. After this class ends, come on, slide. My slides aren't moving. That's weird. Okay. Okay, this is weird. This is frozen. I'm going to move things around a little bit and see. Huh. Let me see. Okay. Well, I think I can do this without the slides moving. That's frustrating. I'll just put them. I just want to remind you about something really cool that I'm going to be doing for the summer. It's called SumoWriMo. And have you guys heard of NaNoWriMo? NaNoWriMo is National Novel Writing Month. And I am doing SumoWriMo, which is Summer of Writing Moms. And it's going to be super easy to do, complete delight. I'm going to be doing a blog post about it on May 7th, which will have all the details. And I will put the slide that's supposed to be showing right now up. I'm worried if I refresh this, I'm going to lose the whole broadcast. So I'm just going to skip that. And let's see. All right. Okay. All right. Anyway, sorry, I'm just trying to get the slides moving, and it is just, oh, I know what I'll do. Let's see. All right, well, it's stuck. Anyway, SumoWriMo, it's going to be totally fun, super easy, completely flexible for the schedules of summer, but it'll keep you reading and writing. And I'll give you more details, but that will be coming. It's going to start June 10th is basically when the kickoff is going to be. And the span for doing it will be June 10th to August 10th. So anyway, all right. So after class ends, because I know I just gave you a bunch of stuff, but after class ends, go write your piece for 8 minutes and 23 seconds. Get in that space of thinking of an amazing, peaceful place, and then go live, read with our group, or type your piece into our group. And then if you can, after I write my piece and post it, I'll put some of those prompts for us in the group so we can get some feedback for what our cherry lines are and what we want to remember from this class. So I have a really darling slide about gratitude and everything, but I guess we're not going to see it today. Anyway, I just have so much gratitude for all of you. And now you can see my light. Yeah, we'll get a little better at this technology as we go. Anyway, I just have so much gratitude for you guys. You have made the last 4 weeks so exciting for me, and I've looked forward to it. Okay, first week I was freaked out and I was really bummed because I didn't think I did a good job, but I feel like you have just made this incredible. And I just want to end with 2 lines of poetry. One was from last week's piece by Mary Oliver. Watch now how you start each day in happiness and kindness. And then to cap it off, William Stafford's great line, carry into evening all you want from this day. So thank you so much. Keep writing. I'll be talking to you guys in the Facebook group. I'll probably, be fairly active in it until about Friday morning. And then I'm going on a little trip, and I won't close it down. But I'm just so thrilled that you've been here. So thank you so much. Go write your piece, and I will see some of you around town. Okay, bye.